Hey, what's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. Today we're going to be talking about Shadows over Innistrad spoilers. I am so excited. You know what, I was like waiting until the whole set got spoiled before I started to do videos for it because I would rather kind of like talk about the set like as an overview and kind of like talk about like, you know, specific colors, but like let me know if you like this, let me know if you'd rather me do like more videos, but I feel like that would just be a lot, like, I don't know, 2 weekly ones, I don't really know what I'd do, but yeah, okay. Question, am I excited for Shadows over Innistrad? Answer, yes. Just yes, just, I'm so stoked for the set. I really did not like the last block, and I really didn't like it, and I, like, drafted it, and I felt miserable about drafting it because I just didn't enjoy it, and I was like, I love drafting. I really like drafting. I just hated everything about that set. I just didn't like it at all, and it was, the whole block, I just didn't like it. So, it was like, as I was like drafting these cards, I was like, I hate this, I hate everything about this, so I took my cards, it was terrible. Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about this set. And, I really wasn't sure exactly how to talk about it in terms of like, let's talk about it in terms of draft, or pre-release, or modern, or legacy, or I don't, it's honestly so difficult to talk about the set before it comes out and before people play with it, but I'm gonna be talking about it in terms of like a pre-release slash like, draft, like, type of thing. So, yeah, I don't really know if that's good or not, whatever, but that's just what I decided to talk about. Because, like, it's really tough to be like, oh, this card's gonna be played in Modern. It's so difficult to, like, determine things like that, so whatever. Okay, cool, so we're gonna get started. This is really in absolutely, like, no particular order. I'm just talking about cards. I can't even see that. My computer's too far away. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna talk about, first card we're gonna talk about is Vessel of Ephemera. To be honest, I'm really not a huge fan of a lot of times of equipments and enchantments in draft. I'm really not or like sealed, whatever. I'm really not a huge fan of them. A lot of times they just sit on the field, they don't really do anything. However, I'm a huge fan of this card. It's kind of like a slow, sort of like lingering souls, and another thing I really like about this is gonna get off delirium for you if you're having a really difficult time getting 4 different types in. You're like, man, I'm gonna get this enchantment into my thing. But yeah, like on turn 3, getting 2 spirits is really sweet. And the fact that they got flying is really awesome. There's a lot of flying in this set, which is so good. I'm a huge fan of flyers. That is one thing I like. I am so big onto drafting that and doing that in pre-releases. I'm like, flyer, no flyer, give me all of the flyers. That is something, like, I'm known for drafting, like, that type of stuff. So this card is super awesome, and I like this card a lot. I think it's really sweet. Cool. Okay, now we're going to talk about, all of these names that are really difficult to pronounce, apparently. There's going to be a picture here. You're going to know which card I'm talking about, but this Militia Captain card. Cool. Okay, so, first off, 2 mana for a 2/2 is, like, really good. And on top of that, it's, like, 2 mana, and then you transform it, and you put tokens on? Sweet. Then, on top of that, its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. It gives itself, like, creatures, basically. You top pick this late game when you got, like, 7 creatures on board, and you, like, flip this thing so fast, and then you make tokens at the beginning of each end step, and they got no, they don't have flying Kaolide. Oh my gosh, that'd be so insane. Regardless, this card is really sweet, and I like it a lot. Okay, cool. Now we talk about, this card that I kind of sort of like. I guess this card is really sweet, actually. Always Watching. So, this is really awesome because you're all like, oh yeah, man, like, I gotta, you know, like, all of these creatures, they get buffs, and they get vigilance. This is like a reverse intangible virtue, if y'all remember, I cannot believe I just said that word. If you all remember that from original Innistrad, that card's insane. Run in modern black-white tokens, or tokenless, the card is crazy. This card is also really sweet. Yeah, cool. Kind of a card that's just, like, always really good, unless you're, like, mass token gen, but you're probably not going to be doing that. You're going to be running other creatures. What are you doing, computer? Don't do that. Okay. Now we talk about Bygone Bishop. Okay, let's look at this 3 mana for a 2/3 flyer. Whoa, that's like really, really awesome. That's like really, really good. On top of that, let alone sweet. Okay, awesome. The fact that every single time you cast a creature spell with 3 or less, you get to investigate. You get these really awesome clue tokens, and you get to sack them, and you get to draw cards. What? This card is really sweet. Like, I think in the deck that's like a, I'm trying to think what color. I mean, like, I guess like red, white, or like green, white, like small creatures and stuff like that works really well. But just the fact that it's 3 mana for a 2/3 flyer is just already incredible, and then the fact that you get that is just really all around amazing. So that card's sweet. Okay, now we talk about near Heath Chaplin. Okay, so like, first off, 4 mana for a 3/1 lifelinker is pretty okay. But then it like goes to your graveyard, and you have Delirium, and you're like, okay, sweet, this is awesome. And then you get another creature in your graveyard, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna exile it, and I get 2 tokens with flying onto the board. So for 4 mana, you're paying for 5 power. That's like really, really good. That's like really awesome. And those spirit tokens have flying. Let's just keep talking about that because they have flying. Flying's evasion. Flying is amazing. This card's sweet. Okay, cool. Now we talk about, you know, this card's not amazing, but it does the job. Humble the Brute. Okay, so like, here's the problem a lot of times with removal spells, is you will be like, this card is so bad, like it's such a bad removal spell, but it's a removal spell, and that's what you really have to pay attention to. Moral of the story, it does the job. It only specifically targets 4 or greater. It's 5 mana for what it does, but it's instant speed, which is pretty okay, and you get to investigate. Is this the best Magic card ever printed? Oh my goodness, absolutely not. However, it's removal, and you very much need removal, so this card is like pretty okay. Not the best, but it does the job. Alright, so I mean, like, Avacyn. I mean, like, yeah. Like, this set is so, like, something I think is interesting about this set is that I feel like, and again, I don't know, but this is just an observation that I'm noticing about it, is I feel like it is a rare, like, you draft the rare type set. Now, oh my goodness, there are so many exceptions to that rule, but I feel like this is a set where, like, your bombs are so amazing. So, like, yeah, you pull an Avacyn, you're probably gonna want to take an Avacyn. She's really, really awesome. Something I also really like about this set that you'll notice is that sometimes sets will be pushing for specific color combos, 2 color, 3 color, or whatever. This is a very, like, 2 color-ish set, and the last block was weird because you have colorless, which was, in a sense, treated as its own color, where if you played colorless, it's like you're playing 3 colors or whatever. So this set's kind of more 2 color dependent, but Avacyn's definitely like that card that I don't even actually know why I started to think about that, because her being red has nothing to do with anything. But that was just a random note that I thought of. Yeah, it's really sweet. I mean, like, it's got flash, which is okay, looking at the stats. 5 mana for a 4/4 flyer, amazing. 5 mana for a 4/4 flying 5 mana for a 4/4 flying flash, incredible. 5 mana for a 4/4 flying vigilance flash, amazingly incredible. This card is so insane. Oh my gosh. I remember when I saw this card, everyone was like, Tracy, how do you emotionally feel about Avacyn going red? I was like, nah bro, I don't care, this card's sweet. Oh man, this card just like does everything. It's like, you're gonna kill my board, cool story bro, my creatures get indestructible, that's really awesome. And you know, things die, you block with things, whatever. You can sack your own stuff, so something dies. War synergizes really, really well with... No, it doesn't, because I was going to say another thing, never mind, scratch that thought. But yeah, she's really sweet. And then she's transformed, and then you're like, okay, cool, she transformed, that's really, really awesome. And now it's 5 mana for a 6/5 flyer. Everything about this card is just amazing. You pull Avacyn, pack 1, pick 1, you probably want to take it. She's really, really good. Sweet. I, like, saw her, and I was all like, yeah, she's totally gonna see play, like, in this format. Okay, now we're going to talk about Descent Upon the Sinful. Mass board wipes are really, really, really good. And a lot of times, like, you know, sometimes when you're playing Magic and you're all like, your opponent's got a board of stuff and you know that you absolutely can't answer it, but you still top deck and you hope maybe the card on top of my deck will be a board wipe and maybe I can win, but then you know that it's not going to happen because, like, there aren't any board wipes. This card's a board wipe, and not only is it just a board wipe, they get exiled. Oh my goodness, this is so, so amazing. It's 6 mana, sorcery speed to exile all creatures. That's really, really, really good. That's, like, really, really awesome. On top of that, if you have Delirium, you get a lot of angel tokens. You blow up their board, how are they going to recover if you cast this card and you exile their board and you get 4/4 angels that fly? How do they come back from that? The answer is that they probably don't. So this card is really, really sweet. Anytime board wipes are just amazing. Cool. Then we have Nahiri's, me and pronunciation right now, words, they're really, really hard for me right now, apparently. I'm just so out of it. Okay, so like I said, I'm really not a huge fan a lot of times of, like, enchantments. They could just, a lot of times they just go to me and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, it's enchantment, I don't want to take it. This card is pretty sweet. Beginning of combat on your turn, you give something indestructible. Yeah, that seems really sweet. I'd really like to swing with this big thing and then give it indestructible. That seems really awesome. I'm a huge fan of that. Are you like that? Because I like that. And then for 2 mana, I mean, it deals 1 damage target attacking or blocking creature. This is a really sweet top deck late game thing when you're all like, oh man, like, I really wish that, you know, I had something to do with all this mana. Well, hey, guess what? You can just blow a lot of things up. Your opponent blocks with something, you just, like, ping it to death or whatever. You can just kill a lot of things. They go to attack something. It just kills a lot of things. This card is really sweet. And then we have Spectral Shepherd. And, you know, like, on its own, regardless of anything that the rest of the card says, 3 mana for a 2/2 flyer is really good, but on top of that, you can bounce something, which is really, you can bounce the creature, which is really good, so if, like, it's gonna die or something like that, you're like, cool, just bounce it to my hand, or you can bounce any other target spirit, so it's just really, really good. This card's good. Cool, now we're gonna talk about Dauntless Catheter, and this card is, like, a pretty good body in and of itself. It's 3 mana for a 3/2, vanilla, pretty much, but then once it goes to your graveyard, you get to exile it, and you put a 1/1 spirit. It's really straightforward, but I think it's a pretty sweet card. Cool. Then we have, Emissary of the Sleepless. And, this card is pretty sweet because you have a lot of ways of killing things, or your opponent kills something, and then you pay 5 mana to get, like, 3 power of flying, but this thing's got a pretty big body. I mean, it's a 2/4, it's, like, pretty hard to kill, so, yeah, the card's pretty okay. And then we have Moreland Drifter. And 2 mana for a 2/2 flyer for free is pretty sweet. If you don't have Delirium, I mean, it's just a 2/2 for 2 mana. I mean, that's just not really that bad, so it's pretty good. Then we have Sterna, Constable. And this card is going to help you get Delirium off if you're trying to do, like, that whole graveyard thing. The fact that you discard a card to get off Delirium is really, really good, and you've got a lot of madness stuff, and that's really sweet. But it's like, on top of that, that's really awesome, but then you get to tap target creature, which is really, really good. You can just during your turn, you can just during your opponent's turn, you can tap something really, really big that you just can't deal with, or tap their flyer or whatever, get in for some points of damage if they have only 1 creature, whatever. This card is just really good. It's a 1 mana, 1/1 that does things. I mean, it's really sweet. Then we have Puncturing Light. Yeah, I mean, your standard removal, this card's gonna kill a lot of things, and yeah, it's a really good card. It's removal. Removal's important. Then we have Unruly Mob, and this card actually reminds me, oh my gosh, I thought I was totally looking at a different card right now. Unruly Mob. Okay, so this card is like, you top deck this, like, late game or whatever, and it's pretty sweet because then a bunch of other things die. It can make your opponent potentially block in weird ways because they're like, oh, I don't want to make their thing bigger. So, yeah, that card's pretty good. Then we have Silver Strike. And this card kind of just does everything. Something attacks, you kill it, and you gain 3 life. That's just really, really good value. That card's really sweet. And then we have Inspiring Captain. This is the card that I was thinking of. This card reminds me of oh my gosh, what card was it from Origins that did something similar to this? Something like when it entered the battlefield, your team got +1/+1. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, this card is pretty sweet because after it kind of does its thing, you know, your creatures get +1/+1, which is really sweet. You could potentially, like, kill your opponent on that turn or whatever, which is really awesome. And the fact that after it does its thing, it's just a 3/3. It's got a really nice body for 4 mana, so that card's pretty sweet. One of the best cards in the set, pack 1, pick oneable, 1200% of the time, Angelic Purge. This card does everything. You sacrifice something, you know, you sacrifice something that has already done its job, like that card that we just talked about, Inspiring Captain. You get rid of something, you can get off Delirium potentially, which is really sweet, especially with things that you have a difficult time, you know, getting off, like you need a land in your graveyard or something like that. The fact that you do that, you get rid of an artifact or creature or enchantment, exile for 3 mana, sorcery speed. This card is just all around amazing. Such a good card. Really good removal card. And then we have Throbbin Inspector. Now, okay, we talked a little bit about 1 mana 1/1s, and that a lot of times is not the place that you want to be at, right? Definitely not run more than one of this card, but it's a 1/2, which is pretty sweet. And ETB, you get to investigate. It's just pretty sweet, pretty standard, but it seems to be pretty okay. And the last white card we're going to be talking about in this video is Pious of Angel. And basically, this is flashback to Zulaport Cutthroat and the whole, like, rally, like, sort of thing. By the way, I was watching some Standard, which I know just sounds terrible, like, why would I be doing that? But I was watching some Standard, and I was watching Rally the Ancestors. That deck is sweet. Let me tell you something. I was like, maybe I want to get into Standard. It seems like a terrible idea, but maybe I'll do it. Who knows? Okay, this card is really, really sweet, because, first off, you gain life. Who doesn't like gaining life? That seems really sweet. It's 3 mana for a 2/2. That's pretty good. And then you get to gain life. I like that. That sounds good. 2 mana, you sack another permanent. Okay, let's talk about Delirium, how well this synergizes. Sounds great. You transform it. So for 3 mana, you get a 2/4. Then you get this really sweet, like, lose life, gain life thing, which is like Blood Artist, basically. It's like a bigger Blood Artist. And who doesn't like Blood Artist? That card is amazing. Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool, guys, that was it. Those were all of the white cards. I, of course, did not mention every single card because that would just actually take, like, a very, very long time. And, these were kind of just the notable cards. Of course, I didn't, like, talk about everything, but those are just the cards that I wanted to talk about that as I was looking through. I was like, oh, this card looks sweet. Yeah, let me know if you guys are excited for Shadows over Innistrad. I am so stoked for the set. I'm going to 2 pre-releases. I'm going to the Midnight pre-release, and I'm going to Two-Headed Giant with my boyfriend John. I'm really, really excited. Like, I love Two-Headed Giant events. I really like them a lot, and we were all kind of like, well, I want to go to Two-Headed Giant, but I also kind of want to go to my own pre-release too. So we're going to both, and I'm together, and I'm really, really excited. So, yeah, so you guys will be seeing my face a lot this week because I'm going to be posting these videos, like, all throughout this week, basically, to prep you guys for Shadows over Innistrad, to get you guys excited. I'm super, super stoked. You could say I'm stoked to the flames. I'm so excited for this set. I'm looking at the overview of this set, and it's like you're looking through, and there's just so many good cards. Like, I'm looking through, and I was like, I thought I was going to talk about, like, 5 cards, and I can't even tell, I don't even know how many cards I talked about. Maybe, like, 20 or 25. So, like, I talked about a lot of stuff because there's a lot of really, really awesome things in this set, and I just think that I just think this set is just going to be really, really fun. I'm so excited to draft it, especially because, I really like drafting, and I really did not draft that much Battle and Oath because I just didn't really care for it. So, yeah, leave me some comments below letting me know what you guys are stoked for in this set, and I'll talk to you guys soon. You're going to be seeing my face a lot this week because we're going to be going through each of the colors and talking about some sweet cards. So, alright, take it easy. Bye.